Bitcoin's alive, what you gon' do? Mempool fees are high. Ordinal. Where does it stop? Nobody knows. It's a revolution, ayy. Bitcoin is the one, no substitution, ayy. With Shizzy and Yagobi, it's Ordinal Revolution.
Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin Ordinal ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We have the 4th episode of Bell's Corner. We are excited for this. We're a little late with it. We should have did it last week, but things got in the way. But we have an amazing episode for you guys. We have Adam McBride back talking bells. There's some amazing updates. Potential. I'm going to ask him about OPCAT on testnet. I hear that it's there. I haven't confirmed it yet. There is some stuff happening with space with MEXC. We're gonna get into that. We have actually a lot to go over. I can't wait. We've been looking forward to this all week. So without further ado, we bring in my partner here as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up? What's
going on, man? I'm excited for this Bell's Corner episode. How about you?
I am too. Yeah, Bells has been getting a lot more attention. I know a lot of people have been talking about the price and stuff like that. We're not going to focus too much on that during this episode, but the success in general and just kind of whisperings of what's happening over there, right? People are getting excited heading into this leg up for Q4 and then into the final, the year we've been waiting for, the bull run year of 2025.
100%. And it's really cool that Bells is getting the attention that it deserves, right? Because it's been a while now. I mean, these guys have been grinding, all of this year, right? So it's really cool seeing that it's finally getting its appreciation, and really can't wait to dig into what's going on. So let's bring in Adam.
Let's do it.
What's up, Adam? Welcome back, buddy.
Hey. What's up, man? Yeah, a lot of attention this week. This week has been fun, for sure. The MEXC Spaces, which I'm going to have next Tuesday with them to talk about a little bit meme coin history, set off a lot of attention on the timeline. We had a lot of fake Bells accounts springing up on Ethereum and on Solana. A lot of contract addresses on the timeline claiming to be Bells coin. So that was fun. Our community had a good time, playing whack-a-mole this last week, trying to knock down these accounts. It's pretty awesome. And that drew a lot of attention to what Bells coin is and learning the story of Bells coin. But yeah, tons of stuff to get into, man.
Yeah,
Wow.
you haven't really made it until you get some scams, right? I mean,
the great, I think it was Gary Vee says, haters do half the work, man. Haters, nothing like haters to bring out, to allow your community to really, take its place. That's for sure. But also It means you're winning, bro. It means you're winning. When those things come out and the copycats come out, that means you're winning. It's 100%.
I can't wait for a fake Shizzy account. I haven't seen one yet. We did see a fake Yagobi account, but not a fake Shizzy yet. I'm waiting for that.
You haven't made it yet. You haven't made it. It's an amazing feeling, man. You call your mom, you say, "Mama, I made it." No, I'm just kidding.
No, I couldn't believe. I mean, I've seen, of course, you see like Solana tokens. I've been in the meme space. I know, but this one was incredibly orchestrated. There was one on Ethereum when it came out, kind of that the MEXC thing was that I was going to be on the space or whatever. Bro, within 15 minutes, they got listed on some exchange that I'd never heard of. They they had paid for a CoinMarketCap listing, so they were on there like within like 10 minutes, bro. They spent, I mean, guys were in the Discord, in the Bells Discord, estimating they spent at least 100K making it all happen, trying to pump and dump this token on ETH. It was crazy. All the KOLs with 450, 500K followers were mentioning these accounts and stuff. So yeah, we're definitely it was a bit of, I mean, I know this stuff happens, but to see it and kind of track it in real time was it was crazy to watch, man. Crazy to watch. But the coin's at zero now, or nearing zero. So the community did its job.
So how does that even happen? Obviously, I guess we can get into this now, but there's a V Bells now, but that's through Emblem Vault, correct? You guys are wrapping the Bells token and taking the V Bells, which now allows it to be on the deck screener. Could you walk us through that process and then kind of explain again about this fake one and how that happened?
Yeah. So, well, the fake one, it's very simple, right? Anybody can spin up a contract on Solana or on ETH and put out a token. That takes nothing. That's
Okay.
easy peasy. But to get listed on exchanges and then coordinate at least 10 relatively large influencers, that's either a well orchestrated
Yeah.
team or a dude who's really ambitious and has deep
Now,
pockets.
were these big people in the exchanges thinking it was V-Bells?
No,
Or were they just
no. They're just listing, like, basically on CoinMarketCap. If you pay 5K, you can have any coin on earth listed, right? So in a lot of ways, like, this is what memes are, and this is what meme coins are, to a large extent, which is, look, yes, the tokens are tracked on a public blockchain, but the reality is it's social consensus, which tells you what's the real one. And I'm using air quotes if you're listening, but what's the real one is based on social consensus, right? Like, I could make a node monkey right now, I copy paste it and make an ordinal out of it. But the original ones are the ones that are either deemed by the artist or the team or whatever, right? And that's a social consensus layer that kind of, we all decide is the real thing, right? And so that battle has to be done in public, and it's done on Twitter and Spaces and all the rest of it, and it's kind of fun to battle and go through those struggles, which the reality is every community has to do, whether it's CryptoPunks and them fighting the earlier version of V1 CryptoPunks, or fighting the version on ordinals, or whatever. And I look at it as each one of these is like, actually it's reaffirming that the original one or the main one has value, right? It's the copycat syndrome. So just like if you're buying a pair of Nikes, when they're fake Nikes all out there, that means Nike's winning, right? So I look at it as a positive thing, but certainly the community gets very upset, and that's kind of funny to watch it all take place. Now for V-Bells, what that is we're actually bridging, Bells Coin, the actual token, to Ethereum. So when you're getting a V-Bell through Emblem Vault and through Televault on Ethereum, your 1-for-1 can swap that back to Bells on its native chain. So what that was a partnership with Graham Bells to basically make a bridge. So he made the bridge. It uses Emblem's technology as like the base layer to that bridge, but you're basically bridging over Bells onto Ethereum. And it was, I don't know if you saw, but it has now over $1 million in total value locked there.
That's awesome.
And like, I want to say last I checked, like 50K in liquidity. So pretty successful launch at the beginning. So that was great for us.
I really like how you guys did that. You established it very, carefully, in my opinion. And I think Emblem always does that, right? Like it's not just about bridging it; it's bridging it over and trying to set it up for as much, of a successful situation as possible. And you guys achieved that, right? That's huge. That's huge. But like one of the things that stuck out right away, you said that you have a Spaces with MEXC. I'm not going to ask you any crazy questions because there's obviously speculation everywhere.
You can ask anything. I'm not allowed to say anything.
Yes. Well, I guess my question more is that, like, is this going to be kind of like storytelling time? Because I didn't know what the backstory of Bells was, but as soon as I heard it from you from start to finish, I was like, this is going to be the meme king of this cycle. Is that kind of the approach for the Spaces?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say meme king, but I'm hoping to definitely tell the story of Bells Coin. I think it's an amazing opportunity to reach a larger audience to hear that story, which I think obviously you guys and a lot of people you immediately vibe with. I vibed with it when I first heard it, right? So, just being able to kind of tell that story to a new audience is obviously very exciting. I've learned, in negotiations with these exchanges, and I'm talking all exchanges. I've literally talked to every exchange, trying to organize Bells Coin to get on exchanges. I've learned that you're not allowed to talk about exchanges. So I'm not going to talk about exchanges. I'm not talking about listings. This is no guarantee of a listing. All it is they've been nice enough to allow me to come on a space and share the story of Bells Coin. So yeah, I'm super pumped about that. It's going to be really fun.
Yeah,
100%. I'm just curious because this week we saw that the Tap launch, right? And the Tap token is on all these exchanges now, but it's not the Bitcoin version; it's the Ethereum version, the ERC20. Is this why exchanges are kind of excited now because now Bells is at ERC20, or would they be listing the original Bells from Bells Chain?
I mean, for them to list V Bells is like, it's like dealing with a different like person and company, right? If they're trying to list bells, for example, they kind of just they actually don't have to do anything because it's a public blockchain.
Yeah.
You know, just like with Bitcoin, they could just list it, right?
It'd be like wrapped Bitcoin, basically, kind of,
that's right? That's right. And so the only thing they usually need is they need liquidity, right? To create the liquidity pool and to fund, you know, a market maker and stuff. And so this is where, you know, it gets into this conversation of like, first of all, are you going to pay a listing fee, right? And these listing fees vary wildly from zero to hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? And then these negotiations have to take place of, well, will you provide the market maker? Will we do like an automated market maker, meaning the exchange do the automated market maker? So it's just, I've learned a lot. It's very, very complex. And you see why meme coins that keep a huge portion of their own token have a distinct advantage against kind of decentralized communities that don't have a huge amount of their own token, because you have to pay for this. Like there has to be this fund. And we've been really fortunate. We threw up a donation site. We've raised, I don't even know, it's like 230, 240K already in like less than 10 days or something like that. So a lot of people who have chipped in. Some whales have chipped in like ridiculous amounts. And we've been very fortunate. So we have this kind of ability to, you know, fund liquidity pools if we need to. And that's just community driven. And that was, we're very fortunate for that. But along that line, we've also run into exchanges who were like, hey, you know, it's 30K to list on our exchange. And I've been like, we have no money. There's nothing there. Like, okay, we'll give it to you for 10K. And I'm like, you don't understand. There's zero money. And they're like, well, just fund the liquidity pool. And I'm like, again, I don't have they were listing it. You know, so we've also run into those where they wanted to list it. They were hoping to make money. They listed it anyway, right? So we've been very fortunate. I think, you know, the exchanges, especially the smaller exchanges, realize that they can get a lot of traction on social by listing us. And so we've had a bunch of those kind of pop through over the last 2 weeks too. So it's been a crazy ride. I've learned a lot in the way kind of behind the scenes exchanges work. Has been a bit of an eye opener for me. But these guys are the things that drive it, right? I mean, the T1 exchanges they drive, you know, price to a large extent.
I'm curious, and you can tell me to F off if you want, but has maybe OKX or any of the tier 1 Bybit like reached out for a conversation at all? Or
I've literally spoken with every exchange.
Amazing. Well, even the big one, CB?
Every exchange.
Wow.
Every exchange. And whether, you know, those are all in varying degrees of, you know, nice
conversations
to, you know, everyone is in varying degrees of nothingness, right?
Well,
nothing, but we've spoken to, reached out to, and had convos with every exchange.
What about Robinhood? Any
conversations? Maybe a community. I haven't spoken with.
Okay.
It's funny that the U.S. exchanges are kind of these whales. You know, it's like almost Moby Dick, right? Like the white whale. How do you get Coinbase, right? So I'm pretty sure community members have reached out to him. I haven't had those conversations. You know, it's one of these things that what I'm told is that they will just list you, right?
Gotcha.
It's kind of just like you don't have to really do anything for them. They will just eventually list you if there's enough interest. It's like they're the ones, because of like, you know, the SEC and the hammer, they are so unwilling to do anything with any sort of like meme coin type stuff. It's really, really difficult. So it's more just about, do they feel like your project and your token is worth it, right? Or worthy or whatever. And so for that, I'm actually really, really hopeful that we'll eventually get on a US exchange. I think we have not only the story, but just the decentralized nature of it. And the fair launch, you know, 100% mined token is so, you know, it's bulletproof basically. And I think the only thing that's needed is awareness. And that's obviously the hardest part, but you know, just need massive awareness for a Kraken or, you know, a Coinbase. I've been like, Coinbase or nothing. I don't care. But we all know, like, it's hard to get on Coinbase. Like, really.
Yeah. I say Robinhood only because Robinhood made billions of dollars off Doge,
Amazing.
and during their board meetings, I'm sure they're saying what's the next Doge, right? And something like Bell's could fill that in if they're because it's the same story, really,
Dude,
the
I
same
would
founder.
love
So
Robinhood would actually be more attractive than Coinbase for me because
yeah, I agree. I
it's the
agree.
type of thing where if we see a real move in 2025 back into crypto for the normies, like Robinhood's that great place, right? Where if I have a couple grand,
Yeah.
I can be on Robinhood, flip stuff, have fun. Like, yeah, I would love that. That would be
Yeah.
amazing, man. That would be
Yeah.
amazing. Who's the CEO of Robinhood? I should ping him on Twitter, man.
I think he has like a Russian name, but I think he's American.
Okay.
But yeah, so I think Bell's is one of those. I do think it's a want kind of like every cycle you have that meme token that has that it factor. It has it because not only does it have its own chain. I think that's a big deal. You have the support. You raised 250,000 in 10 days, or at least like the foundation did, or whatever you guys want to call it. But it's a continuation, or it's almost kind of like a prequel, right? Like when you watch Lord of the Rings, like you're gonna watch The Hobbit, right? And I watched The Hobbit because I'm kind of telling my age a little bit the cartoon when I was young. But when the movie came out, I was like, yes, I'm watching that. But it's kind of like that with Doge, right? And so I think it's set up for success, man. Like, and I think usually creating a meme culture and community is not the easiest thing, but when it clicks, and I feel like that's what's going on with Bells. I don't know, is that kind of similar to what you're feeling?
It's interesting the way you framed it, the prequel of Doge. I love that, man. It's exactly right, man. It's like, well, we know Doge already. Well, this is the father of Doge. This
exactly.
That's just like, yeah. It's. I mean, obviously, this is the core hook of the token itself. We had some amazing stuff happen over the last 2 weeks. Where Billy, the founder of Bell's Coin and the founder of Doge, just said stuff to the effect on Twitter of like, stop with your scammy ETH Solana tokens, because these were all going off. He's like, the only tokens I've ever done are Bells and Doge, and that sort of reaffirmment of, we'll debate all day for the end of time about what's the first meme coin, but certainly the first successful meme coin was Doge. Like, there's not many people debate that, right? And to have that tie-in with the founder and Bell's Coin have that tie-in with the founder of really the most successful meme coin of all time is, yeah, dude, it's
definitely Doge. Yeah,
spectacular, bro. It's literally spectacular.
Well, it's Shizzy's favorite. No, I'm just kidding. He hates Doge, but I will say something. You have something special when after you've kind of ran with it, and the narrative is kind of reviving this token and chain like Doge did, but then it's like another group tries to follow what you did with Lucky. And I'm not saying that Lucky's not going to have success, but they're, when someone's trying to mimic what you're doing, you're like, okay, we got something here. And Lucky's kind of faded a little bit off, right? So that's how I see that.
It's literally it's copycat, just like what we talked about with with Nike shoes or whatever. It's literally copycats, and when the copycats pop up, and obviously after Bells happened last December, there are all these kind of what people are calling like historical meme coins, right? And I mean, you probably haven't heard half of them, but there was like and people tried to relaunch all these older coins on Ethereum and blah 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 blah, like endless, right? Because people understand, wow, this is a cool, this is a really cool narrative. And so like Lucky, I mean, I don't know if people really know, but the current version of Lucky that you're maybe seeing on the timeline, that's actually a fork of Bells. Like they took the Bells code and actually relaunched it. And it's been, I want to say people have said, 5 relaunches since last December of that Lucky coin. So maybe this one will be the one that lasts. But yeah, it's people at the end of the day, these are meme coins, and it gets back to this thing of like social consensus and which is the one. And part of the really cool stuff in the space is that we get to decide, like actually us as the holders, we get to decide what's the real one. We get to decide which is the one of value. We get to do that, like not be told which one it is. And a lot of times we're kind of guided by VCs and big money or, fake trading and all that sort of stuff. But at the other times we get to choose, man. And I think the great thing about Bells is that we went through like crazy bad times in April, May, June, where the blockchain wasn't even really running. It was like a block every 10 hours. Like it was really right on the fence there of even where we're going to survive. Right. And price went down to nothing, 10 cents. The market cap was, or 15 cents. The market cap was like $3 million, and people were calling for death. And all the people who bought there at that 15, 20 cent marker, bro, these guys are like all in. Right. And I think you have to have that killer group of early adopters who went through like the scary time and came out the other side, and we have that, and it's a crew of hardcore evangelists. So yeah, it's fun to see. It's really, I mean, I am a part of a lot of different communities, but this one is the most vibrant I've ever been a part of.
That's amazing. Yeah, man. That sounds. I mean, if to buy at 10 cents when the chain's doing 10-hour blocks, you either have to
You're
have
taking a risk.
true
Right?
conviction. Yeah, true conviction, or you just are a degenerate gambler.
Yeah,
at
you're
that
buying
point.
lottery tickets, bro. Let's be honest, that is a lottery ticket right there. And that lottery ticket's probably going to zero. Yeah, for sure.
So I just had a thought pop in my head. I was wondering if you get any pushbacks from like exchanges or anything, but that Bells is named after a currency in a video game that's created by Nintendo. Is there any pushback from? Do they even think about it at all?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think I probably talked to you on this show about this a little bit, where I've had many discussions with IP lawyers, not really about Bells, but enough to know about NFT projects and stuff. Enough to know it's a zero burger. It's a nothing. Yeah, it's a nothing. There's literally no risk. I mean, we joke in the chat like, I have no part of this. If Nintendo is investigating this, I have no part of this. But it's all just a joke, and there's no use of Nintendo IP or anything like that. So Bells, it would be amazing if Nintendo was able to claim the word Bells.
Yeah,
It's pretty much
that's true.
Yeah, you can't really claim guys purpose words like that as your IP.
And the logo is not similar to the logo in the game, right? Okay.
They changed it.
Okay.
Guys in the community changed it up. Yeah. So, I mean, if anything, I guess that could be a thing, but it's not even, it's changed enough where it's not the actual logo.
Yeah.
And it's not even a logo. It's an item used in a game. Like, yeah, it's a zero burger.
Yeah. All right, cool. Just want to get that out there. But the next
I've always said, bro, if Nintendo sues Adam or even better, if they sued Billy on X for launching Bells Coin, bro, it would be the greatest promotion in the history of crypto. Yeah. Bells Coin literally would go to $150 billion if that happened. That would be unbelievably bullish, because you could cut down the blockchain, and it would just be like, it would be unlimited. It would be promotion like on CNBC. It would be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that would be big. So it's like, please do.
Please do us.
All right, let's kind of get into OPCAT. So OPCAT, if it does get launched on Bells, it's going to be huge, and it's going to be huge because there's already things called Cat 20s that are already building with other chains. Jack Liu came out yesterday, the guy from BSV, and he was talking about there's potentially more UTXO chains coming, and he's like an investor in one of them, and that these Cat 20s are going to be easily being put over there. So when you think that OPCAT can get put on Bells, it's most likely the same thing. You're going to see Cat 721s. Cat 20s on Bells, absolutely huge. Bells just took a step forward by putting OPCAT on testnet. Could you explain what is going on with this?
Yeah, well, I mean, realistically, I'm not even sure what OPCAT. Like, I hear different descriptions about what it is, and in theory, you'll be able to, once the kind of protocol's built out, and once that's kind of done, you'll literally be able to basically bridge tokens between chains trustlessly, and like just by the minor verification. Like, that is amazing. But I'm like, I've been in crypto long enough to know, like, I'll believe it when I see it, right?
Yeah,
I'll believe it when I see it. But if that's possible, what that entails is you can have Bitcoin assets that you trade on Bells, right?
Yeah.
Or you could have Bitcoin assets that you're trading on Fractal. or fractal assets that you're trading on Bells or Bitcoin are back and forth. Basically, then what you get is you get an environment where builders can launch and should launch on the chain that is the fastest, has the cheapest fees with the most users, right? So, because in theory, then, if I have a market, I want to be able to do it at the least, friction possible. And I think Bells is uniquely positioned to do that. Like, it's very exciting, obviously. And so, yeah, it's on our test net now. We have devs over there. I'm in talks with a bunch of devs to start experimenting, basically doing what they're doing on Fractal, bring it over to Bells, because for builders, not only is it the chain that I think is going to be, my feeling is the chain's going to win. It's going to win over Fractal. We'll both be here in a decade. It's possible. I think Bells is more secure right now than Fractal is, and the benefit is it doesn't have a 50% pre-mine. So, it's an $80 million chain or $90 million chain. I don't even know right now. It's probably a fifth or a half of the cost or less than Fractal, where if you're building and you want to build something substantial and put energy in, like, you can own a big chunk of the underlying chain for not much money, right? And so I just think there's a lot of things going for Bells coin above Fractal. That said, is there a place for both? Absolutely. Like, I have no idea. I'm not smart enough to say what's going to win, what's going to be the big thing. But certainly, if there are any builders listening to my voice right now who are in the script ecosystem, reach out to me, DM me, bro. I will hook you up. I'll get you talking directly with the core devs. I want to build some cool ass shit on Bells coin. Of course, there's copy pastas, there's NFTs, all that sort of stuff. There's BRC20s. It's all, we're layering on. We're all kind of mimicking the exact same thing that's happening, on Bitcoin. But I want guys who want to do something new and different, because I know that new and different, takes you from, the level of everybody else and puts you above everybody else. And if that were to happen on Bells coin, I'm just excited that that's a possibility. Whether we ever pull it off or some dude pulls it off, I know how hard that is. It's darn near impossible. But the guys who do it become, decamillionaires or billionaires. And I'd love to support guys who want to build that on Bells coin, man. Let's go, baby. Let's start it. Let's do it.
For sure.
I mean, do you see how much the guys who made Pump.Fun, bro?
Yeah.
You know how much money they made?
Yeah. I mean, and that's all from fees too.
Hundreds of millions of dollars, and there's just a couple guys, bro. I mean, they got some funding and stuff, but it's literally a couple guys, right, who hit the market right, right chain, right market, product market fit. And there's no industry like crypto where if you hit a product right, bro, it is not even grand slam, bro. You just got the whole stadium, dude. It's literally the crypto's the best in that way, for sure.
100%.
With OPCAT, and let's just say when Bitcoin enables it, because I think it's only a matter of time. I think we all agree with that. But with OPCAT, Bitcoin becomes Ethereum, and something like Bells becomes something like Arbitrum or something like Optimism and stuff like that, or even Base Chain or whatever. And you see Ethereum. I mean, you got Sony now building on an L2 on top of Ethereum, and potentially if Bitcoin gets OPCAT, you're going to see that happening here. And what that does, it doesn't just take from all the other chains; it kind of makes them all this giant ecosystem. And I definitely see Bells when it gets OPCAT and Bitcoin gets OPCAT, Bells being that L2 to Bitcoin. It's going to be like that fun stepsister to Bitcoin, right?
I'm
stuck in the dryer.
I'm the mindset that what we see in a decade from now is not L2s, but just really strong L1s that are somehow connected together. Now, I don't know if you saw.
So you say it differently. Okay.
So I see it somewhat differently than L2s. I see it actually the way you were just describing it, which is we have an L1 in Bitcoin, and then we have an L1 in Bells coin, and they interact with each other, right? And because Bells coin is less expensive, faster, and has much larger block sizes, we can actually do most of the work here on Bells coin, but they completely interface back to Bitcoin. So you get that Bitcoin unlock of value. It just the transactions and stuff happen on another chain. So so that model is very different than what we have now, which is like people building rootstock or stacks or whatever, which is like an L2 on top of Bitcoin. this is another L1 that communicates with trustlessly with Bitcoin. And if you saw, I think it was the BitOS team. Did you see that post today?
The Bitcoin OS team with Yago.
Yep. Or
Yeah.
is it Evan or it's sorry, Yago.
Are you talking about the Cardano thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Cardano thing where they're basically going to interface doing exactly what I just talked about.
We went over that for our live stream today, actually.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah.
No, I mean, this is very much aligned with what kind of my vision is right now of the way it's going to work. And it could be wrong. Maybe it is kind of the traditional Ethereum L2. But my gut says it's more L1s.
Yeah. Well, especially if there's some sort of communication between these Cat20 tokens, if that is what they say it will do, then in both chains can kind of update what they need to from an accounting level. Then yeah, absolutely, you can do whatever you need to do on Bells, but use it as a scaling solution for speed and cost, right? But if OPCAT gets added to Bitcoin, it's gonna the one thing that I think that it's gonna solve more than anything is the trustless bridging, right? Because at the end of the day, like OPCAT's not going to make AMMs on Bitcoin like amazing or anything like that. That's not going to happen with just OPCAT. You got to add a ton of other opcodes for it to flow like Ethereum does, right? So, but you don't necessarily need that. You could if you can bridge off of Bitcoin a Cat20 token on the Bells and then execute whatever you need to do, and that like an oracle is communicated to Bitcoin and the accounting is updated or whatever for that token, then you're good. The trustless bridging is the biggest issue I think we face today.
Totally. 1,000,000%. Like that is the issue right now. Our bridging is basically multi-sig wallets. Emblem is a different version of a bridge where it's trustless into a wallet. But then if you're putting it in a bridge, okay, that's, then the bridge is the risk, right? So yeah, we're all kind of working around this solution, and there are lots of different styles of doing it. But at the end of the day, they all require some level of trust, 100%. And so OPCAT, that's the biggest value unlock if it works correctly, right? I'm waiting to see this work, but like it looks like the BTCOS guys, like they've kind of figured it out with Cardano. It makes me actually a little bullish on Cardano. I gotta say.
That's what we were saying.
Yeah, bro. What's Cardano at right now? Is it like 20 cents right now?
I don't know, but like one of our partners, Plug, Fluid Tokens, they originally came from Cardano, right? And so they built over here like staking using block height technology with Bitcoin and stuff. They were at that event with Bitcoin OS. They're actually partnering with the interoperability bridge, right? The proofs, the ZK proofs bridge, and like their price has been positively affected from it. Sure. So Cardano probably has as well, So finally, Charles Hutchins can stop complaining about Bitcoin, right?
He's got to win. I really like Charles. I like that guy a lot. Yeah. I think his vision is right. He gets so much hate on the timeline, but I do think his vision's right. I think I don't like the style of it in that I don't like the idea of like, we put out 50 papers and, papers schmapers. Like I'm a entrepreneur, like build something, right? But it really feels like they've turned a corner here. But again, it's always got to be built. Like it has to happen. You got to figure something out, and they have to find what I was talking about before, like that killer use case, right? Pumped up fund, the something where an average user wants to go to Cardano. Like I don't have a Cardano wallet. I don't even know what why am I going to go there right now? What we have is everybody leaving Cardano, like the Flow guys or whoever. Like I've interviewed them too, right? They're coming over to Bitcoin to build because nothing was happening on Cardano. So like, what are the odds that somebody builds the next pumped up fund on Cardano? Like it seems unlikely to me right now. Because we've just seen, it's just so hard to do. Like what have been the ones like, we have pumped up fund this cycle has been the killer app. Yeah. We had OpenSea, the previous cycle, which was the killer app.
Market.
Yeah. Polymarket kind of has that vibe today. Which we'll see after the election, it'll probably die away. But it's really hard to get that winning, to build that winning product. It's really hard, man. I think it's the most hard thing to do in crypto, is build that winning product. And you know, there's only been a handful of them in the history of crypto. And you know, so I'm as bullish as it happening on Bell's coin as Cardano. I'll tell you that much right now. I'll fucking go toe to toe with Charles any day of the week. We got the builders on Bell's coin.
Let's go.
We got the fucking builders, not Cardano. Fuck Cardano.
So, real quick on that, it's like, so I think Cardano is the only chain where if it lost its founder, it would probably go up. Like if ETH lost Vitalik, it would go down. You know, it's like, I think Cardano, if the Charles disappeared one day, just kind of Satoshi'd his way away, I think Cardano would actually go up in value because
True.
Well,
Although
I mean,
I've been on a bunch of spaces with the dude. The dude is awesome. I
Yeah.
like the guy a lot. I
Yeah.
think he'd be a great
Well-
dude to be friends with in real life. But yeah, he's
I-
maybe gets the most hate out of any founder.
I read the book or whatever with I forget who it was called, Ethereum Virtual Machine, and
Sure.
it put Charles in such a bad light, and guys like Gavin Wood and the rest of those guys, they made it look really good, but that was because Charles, I guess, was an a-hole to the writer of it. So it kind of made, for the longest time, I hated Charles, but then, you know, after talking to so many people, especially like Raul and stuff from Fluid, he makes him seem like a really good guy.
Yeah.
So maybe I shouldn't let a book kind of lead me to his character. But yeah.
I mean, of course, none of us really, unless you know him in real life. I mean, this is all just like Twitter stuff, right? And you just watch him. I mean, certainly watching him on like his live streams and talking to him in person on spaces and stuff, he's compelling, like period, full stop. Like there's a reason he was able to build Cardano. There's a reason people gave him money. There's a reason he was involved in Ethereum, bro. The dude can speak and craft a narrative and a story, dude. I mean, you know, so I give him all the credit in the world. You know, I understand people hating on him, you know, but that hate is generally because ADA hasn't performed, right? And you know,
100%.
we all know that that has a lot of factors to go into.
Yeah. Well, also it's you know, they had a tough time with the builders in the scripting language development from what we heard initially. It was just too complex and like just, you know, wasn't buttoning up, you know, as easy as it should, because as a developer you shouldn't have that much trouble in terms of, you know, mastering it, right? And so then they scrapped that, and then they rebuilt one that was more simplified. And so I
that
think
was like their original.
that was a little bit of a holding them back a little bit. So now they're a little bit more freed up.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah, I don't know the whole history of it, but that is, by the way, if anybody hasn't read that book, whatever, it's The Infinite Machine or whatever, it's well worth the read. It's amazing, the story of Ethereum, that many founders, what a shit show. It's amazing it got off the ground, bro. Like anybody who thinks, oh, I would have bought if I had known about the crowd sale, I'd have bought $1 million bullshit, bro. You wouldn't have bought goddamn thing. It's a miracle that they pulled it off. Honestly, it's a miracle, dude. They pulled it off.
Especially after Ethereum Classic, and it's a great book. If anyone wants to get into it, definitely recommend it. But I kind of want to stay on OPCAT for one more second. So we had Yahweh on from Script. He's the creator of the language. He's basically the Gavin Wood of Script. He was telling us that Fractal is going to be using Script to do voting. Governance voting using the Fractal token. And I was wondering, I was like, what do they need that for if they have if they have miners, right? Because the miners control the chain, and they really decide if changes are made or not changed. And it got me thinking, I was like, all right, but there is FB in the hands of the Fractal, what is that called? The controlling people on Fractal, the Fractal Foundation. So if the Fractal Foundation uses this governance for the FB token to say, hey, where these funds are going, that's a big deal, because then you can kind of fund things using the Fractal token as governance. Would Bells utilize something like this after OPCAT is put in, maybe copy and paste it from what they're doing? And if so, do you think that'll be like a factor going forward to actually create it into a real DAO?
Well, first, there's not really any funds, right? It's different.
So the foundation.
If let's play in the game of ifs there. So if Bell's coin actually the price rips higher, and we're able to convince miners or Bitmain or big whales who hold a ton of Bell's coin to donate into a foundation, and that foundation gets like a substantial amount of funding, Could we use like on-chain voting through a token mechanism? Yeah, that could be interesting for sure. And that probably would be something we would think about doing. Yeah, that's possible. It feels like too early right now. I mean, yes, we've created a roadmap to a foundation, but it feels like we're a little bit early in that stage to kind of really get there.
I thought the governance, he was explaining that the governance for script was going to be geared towards the CAT token, specifically for the CAT 20 protocol.
So Fractal, the team is using it for the Fractal token. So the Fractal token is going to be used as governance. And I asked him kind of how is that possible and like why, and he kind of explained it as like the foundation's tokens.
Yeah. So what they usually, and I'm not exactly sure about Fractal, but usually when they set up this foundation, they do it as like a separate entity, right? In order for tax purposes and all that sort of stuff. And so you set it up as like an entity on its own. And if it's truly like decentralized or controlled by the community and stuff, you have to have that mechanism sort of built in. And so whether it's a DAO or, you know, even a corporation like Ethereum, right, where it's a foundation, a non-for-profit foundation, you have to have some sort of mechanism for who controls it. And so like an online one, you know, could be interesting. I think that's one of the things that Charles always says Cardano's like the leader in. You know, sometimes, you know, straight voting democracy can be a total disaster. You know, when you don't have kind of one person in control and the control is had by whoever just has the most tokens. It can go in weird, unexpected, you know, directions. That's kind of my view on it. So yeah, I don't know, man. It could get really interesting and really bad real quick if that's your mechanism. You know, we've seen DAOs before that have had this sort of thing that basically it destroys the DAO. I just think of like Noun DAO, right? Where they had literally millions, tens of millions of dollars. And people were just like, give me my money back, you know? And they basically just ended the DAO, you know, because they were able to vote it out and basically vote the money to themselves kind of thing. So yeah, it's really hard. And part of the thing is we're figuring all this stuff out. This is like online voting or voting mechanisms for DAOs and decentralized communities. Like we're in the early stages. There is no best solution now because we haven't done enough yet. So it turns into a bit of a shit show in my view.
So
I mean, DAOs, they generally turn into shit shows. Generally.
I agree. So I was thinking too far in the future there for sure, but yeah, I was just curious if you potentially thought about using.
No, I'm not thinking about it too much because I know that like that's way in the future. You know, I'm just trying to do like, you know, what's right in front of me. Just trying to make, you know, do the
day to day.
Well, as they would say, low hanging fruit. What's the low hanging fruit, right? Those are pretty clear for us. The low hanging fruit. You know, certainly exchanges are the one that the communities really want. Awareness building, obviously, and then the halving, which is coming up in just 11 days. I mean, that's like number one on the list. Like, bro, it is not. People have not recognized what's happening here. Like, all right, well, people hear halving and they don't get it, what's happening with bells.
I can't wait to get in that. I just want one last question about OPCAT, then I want to dig into the halving. So I guess my question would be, how's it going with the testnet, and like, can we see it maybe in Q1 of next year? Do you think? Obviously, it's just a guess, but do you think so?
Yeah, so far it looks okay. You know, no major hiccups. They've set a block height for it to be released. That can change, but the block height puts it at the early part of January next year. So a couple months away. So that right now, that's the kind of target they're shooting for to get it launched. So that's in theory, if everything stays on course and there are no major hiccups, that's when it should go live.
If I all right, so that day, if I was a betting man, what would you what would you advise me to do? Would you go would you take the over or under that day? If you, like, just by your point of view.
I'd say it's probably going to happen.
Hell yeah.
I'd say it's going to happen.
That's amazing.
It's going to happen on that day. I mean, this is because we have people kind of leading the way for us, right? Like Fractal's running this program right now.
100%.
So we get to see, you know, they get to be first through the wall, and get bloodied, a little bit bloodied at the beginning. Not too bad, honestly. But we get to see it and kind of learn from mistakes. And hopefully, you know, our guys are obviously giga brains, and you know, hopefully they even make it better than what they have on Fractal there. And you know, through the door we go. Like we're also, I mean, we haven't talked about it, but there's also OP Groth, I think it's called, which is like a ZK OP.
Oh,
So
nice.
that's like a whole nother level. Maybe you guys know more about that than I do, but this idea of like ZKs for bridging and rolled ups and all this sort of stuff, it's like a whole other level of functionality that people can play around with on the testnet right now.
Amazing.
Yeah, bro. It's like
All
we
right.
started with a meme coin and we layered on a fucking kick-ass L1 proof of work blockchain, bro. It's amazing, bro. It's literally insane. I still like, I wake up in the middle of the night. I'm like, what the hell just happened? I can't believe this happened. It's literally unbelievable that this happened. Like, it's unbelievable, dude. Did you see the hash rate? Did you see the hash rate? Click across your timeline, bro. It's like it don't hit like 1.8 whatever petahashes or whatever, bro. It's like it was like 20% more than Dogecoin or Litecoin. It's like the most hashed script algo you know, blockchain on earth, bro. It's like crazy, dude. Literally crazy. Literally crazy.
I want to actually is there a site to check that?
Yeah,
so Shizzy's brought up a point to me about like fractal and miners, and I know we've talked about this about bells too. Like if the price gets to a certain point, like Shizzy's like thinks that, you know, there's a strong possibility if fractal gets below, I don't know, let's say $4, that the miners will turn off their machines.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then there's going to be a big problem with processing transactions, obviously, right? Yep. Do you see that happening with fractal or bells? Like, let's start with fractal. Could you see that happening?
Yeah, you can. Here, I just put the mining pool stats in the chat there. This is the thing with now that Bell's coin is merge mined, that's not going to happen, right?
And fractal's merge mined too, right? So they won't allow that either. Then, right?
Well, I don't know if is it completely merge mined with Bitcoin, right? And what's their hash rate? I mean, I don't know where they are in their process.
Yeah, they are merge mined though, because there's a project on Merlin that offers a yield, and they do both FB and Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So it is added, but so could you explain why that merge mining wouldn't allow, you know, the network to stop basically?
Yeah, basically. So when, as long as Litecoin is being mined, Bell's coin is going to be mined, because the miners themselves who are in these pools, the pools have all now adopted Bell's coin. So every pool on earth has Bell's. If you're mining Litecoin, you're also mining Bell's coin, right? So that's every pool on earth. And there's literally no reason to not merge mine, because even if Bell went to a penny, right, you're still getting money, right? There's no reason to not mine it, right? And obviously right now with Bell's $1.50 or whatever it is, you know, the 200 and some odd thousand Bell that miners are earning every day is an additional, you know, $300,000 in revenue every single day just by merge mining Bell's coin. So they're never going to stop doing that as long as Litecoin and Dogecoin are being mined.
Gotcha.
So as long as those chains are around, we're going to be around. You know, it's, you know, basically this script ecosystem of now three really powerful, you know, blockchains.
Yeah, that's like a fail safe in a sense.
It is. Absolutely is. Absolutely is.
I love it.
It's, I mean, look, there are ones with Bitcoin that do it too, but people don't really talk about them as much. They're super small. You know, it's, I don't know, Namecoin, Fractal now with Bitcoin, as you said. And so, you know, it's just, does the chain kick off enough reward to make it worth their while to incorporate the merge mine? And Bell's just was in this really, we just hit it just by luck or whatever, where the idea happened, and because Bell's was, you know, worth so much to do, you know, it happened, and we were able to get merge. Obviously the tech had to come around where we built, you know, the V3, which allowed for merge mining, and we got it done, bro. what can I say? It happened. Like it was, somewhat of a miracle. But now that it's happened, like, whatever, the horses are out of the barn. You can't put them back in, bro. You can't
Yeah.
put bells, as I think Charlie Spears, did it. You guys, you psyop the miners to do, to merge mine bells. And it's like, now that you've psyoped them, there's no going back. Like you can't,
Yeah.
there's no going back. Like Bell's coin is here. Even if you don't like it, too bad. Like nothing can stop it now.
Yeah. I love. All right, let's go. You got me pumped.
Too bad, bro. With Litecoin and Doge, it's not going anywhere unless you're going to somehow kill Litecoin. Good luck, bro.
So we recently saw a pump to $1.80, which is absolutely amazing. I'm not gonna have you talk on price, but do you think this price action is happening because of the halving coming up, and maybe you can kind of get into the halving?
Yeah, I think definitely the halving is, for those of us who are holding a coin, we recognize like it's a big deal, right? Because we recognize that miners are dumping on our heads, right? I mean, it's 200,000 plus coins every single day, right? And so they're dumping into the pumps 100%. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But you also recognize that 200K is dropping to 20K on November 5th, right? So after that, it's 20K per day. And then 180 days after that, it's 2K per day, right? So get ready, bro. I think I put out a tweet the other day. I was like, realistically, it's 3K per day. So, 2 bells per block beginning on May 5th, 2025, right? So that's less than 3K per day. You can buy 3K bells right now. So you can buy a day's worth of mining rewards right now for like $4,000, right? What other chain can you do that with? So yeah, it's just people see it, and the way miners are, like, people get short-sighted, they lose faith. It takes special people to be able to see stuff early. But for that kind of pricing, bells for a 4K investment, which people, that's almost nothing for a lot of meme traders in the space. Like it's worth a flyer. And so I think you're catching that. We're catching buyers. I don't know. Before I came on the show, somebody swept like 50K, worth of bells. And, yesterday we had somebody buy like 150K worth. Like, it's just for real players in the space, that's nothing. That's like not even a drop in the bucket. And once, the miners aren't earning 200K per day, when somebody comes in and buys 1 million bells, like, bro, it's going to be just, the price swings are going to be drastic when if we get some awareness around it, so that's the community gets really excited for that, obviously, because it's, we see what's happening. Yeah.
So bells would have to get to almost, I would say, about, I don't know, $13, $14 just for the miners to get the same value they're getting today.
100%.
That's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. Totally. And when you start thinking about, like, we were doing the math, people started doing the math now on like how much does Binance have? How much does Via BTC Pool have? Right. Because you could see when merge mining started, and these guys were merge mining. Okay. But they weren't paying out rewards to the people who were in their pool. Okay. So merge mining starts on August 17th, right? Every pool is merge mining, is mining bells at that time, but they're not paying the rewards to the people who are in their pool. Okay. Then the first pool started adding it and paying out the rewards, but there was probably 2 weeks there where no pool on earth was paying the mining rewards of bells to, the people who were in their pool. Right. And you start doing that math and you realize, like, oh God, these guys have 1 million bells, 1.5 million bells. Right. These exchanges are sitting on literally, 1%, 1.5%, 2% of the supply of bells, right? So, are they going to be motivated for the price to go up, right? And they control the supply. They control a huge supply, right? And this is all speculation. Like, I am not a math guy. I don't know this. But people who are way more gigabrain than me are like, dude, this is the way true pumps happen, which is you basically have exchanges with huge swaths. You have miners with huge swaths. Then you have a serious restriction of miner rewards, so they can't dump into the market. And then you get market awareness where, whales come in and are like, oh, I like Bell's coin narrative. Let me buy 50K. Let me buy 100K. Let me buy $1 million in Bells today. What happens then? And that's when you get just real fun price movements and price swings. So we'll see how it goes, man. Who knows? Could go to zero, but this is the setup for really interesting 6 months ahead for sure.
Yeah, I think, dude, I think you guys are gonna get a foundation really quickly because there's gonna be a lot of rich people that want
When are
Bells
you
to
gonna set up a
succeed.
Yes.
I'm like, bro, when we make the miners rich, bro, that's when you foundation.
They will create a foundation though, because they're gonna make so much money. I mean, obviously, like you said, it can go to zero, but if it's because all the arrows are pointing one way right now, right? So it's one of those things where it's like I can't see it going backwards at least until next year or the next bear market.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that's the true test of a successful blockchain is you got to survive a cycle and come back to the cycle. And we've seen like that's what happened with Doge. Doge went through a couple cycles, 90% drawdown. At the end of the day, if I could wave a magic wand, it would be every person on earth would know what Bell's coin is, right? Because we recognize that's the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
But that said, we do have a couple of really cool things that are, in our favor happening. One of those is tokenomics for sure. And the awareness thing, we're working on, man. It's getting out there.
Well, the retail's not even here yet, right?
Not
They're not
yet.
even in Bitcoin yet. So what happens when they start, actually, because that's going to start off with exchanges, and then they're going to come on chain with Ethereum, and then they're going to come on chain with the next thing and the next thing. Just like people went to Chronos and people went to Phantom, and that's going to happen just in the Bitcoin area. And Bells is going to be one of those chains they eventually go to. So this is going to be really fun, but they might not have to if it's on places like MEXC, which would be absolutely amazing, or Gate.io, or I mean, OKX or Kraken, or I mean, come on, it would be absolutely insane. And Robinhood, if they want to find the next Doge, potentially it's Bells.
Well, I mean, a lot of the talk is, well, what's going to bring retail into crypto this cycle? And part of me thinks we just need a change in just kind of sentiment. And my gut says, Trump being elected is the change in sentiment. I'm very hopeful.
Yeah,
that happens.
Yeah.
It is interesting that our halving lands on election day in the United States.
That's wild.
What? It's impossible, right? So many impossible things have happened in Bell's coin, but this is just like another one. Like it's impossible. You can't tell me that the merge is going to happen here and then the next halving is going to happen, but here it is, man. It's right on election day.
Yeah.
So the stars are aligning. If we get that kind of trigger, like of euphoria of like US is back, we're back in business, like businesses can thrive here. Crypto, God, knock on wood, please, can thrive in the United States. Like, let's, please, yes.
We can't even claim our Magic Eden, diamonds, bro. Like living in the US. Like how bullshit is that? Like, and obviously there's ways around that, and we're trying to teach our community and stuff, but it's like it's free money.
I mean, we're not trying to tell anybody to do anything. But
well, again, it's not legal by your government. It's Magic Eden's the one stopping you, not your government. So the only reason they're stopping you is because there's no real regulation. So again, it's very legal. You're allowed to go just because the company doesn't want you to do it. If there's ways around it, you can still do it. That's you and the company. They can sue you, I guess, but they got to sue NordVPN first, right? Yeah. So
that's the exact type of thing that is so frustrating as a user and as somebody who believes in crypto. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, all right, man. It's been absolutely amazing. We're at that hour mark. Thank you so much for coming on, man. This really means a lot to us, and we hope you enjoyed yourself as much as we did.
Yeah, man. I always love this. Is my favorite time of the week. Man. Appreciate you guys.
Awesome.
Any last words?
Well, definitely tune into that MEXC Spaces. It's Tuesday at like 8 or 9 a.m. Eastern time. Just follow me, and I'm going to be tweeting about it a bunch. Love to see everybody show up on that space and support Bell's coin. It's going to be fun.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Well, absolutely amazing. Again, another very successful Bell's Corner. Episode 4, dude. It feels like yesterday we were doing episode 1. But thank you guys for all tuning in. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was definitely amazing. I'm excited. I do think that Bells is going to be one of those big winners this cycle, but do your own research, of course, and you know, keep up with these Bells Corner episodes, because you know, not every channel do you get the inside like this, right? So we appreciate Adam and everything he's done. And jumping on the show with us and educating you guys as well as us during this experience. But if you guys do have some extra time, please check out our partners. BetBTC is utilizing ICP and Bitcoin technology to be the premier predictions market for the Bitcoin ecosystem. They are on mainnet. They will be adding more features as time goes on. Shizzy and I will create a tutorial for you guys, so you guys can learn how to you know, bet on markets and you know, make your own decisions on that. And then BitPerp is a perpetual leverage DEX that's going to be that is launched actually right now. They have their paper trading competition on B Squared, BitLayer, and Core DAO, which are all Bitcoin Layer 2 EVMs. And we have a tutorial video in our YouTube library, so go watch that so you can add your paper USDT and start trading to earn that possible 100,000 BTP tokens. Ordinal Hive is an aggregator for ordinals, a marketplace on layer 1 and layer 2. So you're going to find the cheapest ordinals, cheapest node monks, cheapest puppets, all that stuff. They're going to find it for you. Go visit them. You can earn points by listing, selling, and buying. If you list, you earn points, but if you sell and buy, you earn more points. It's similar to what Blur was doing, so you can turn those in for rewards later. And then Foxy is building in the Tap ecosystem. The Tap ecosystem just launched with Tap's TGE yesterday, so they're very excited. They have the Bitverse. It is a metaverse in the Tap ecosystem. If you have a bit miner, you can actually earn tokens. You can earn the Foxy token. You can earn other tokens as well. If you have the Cosmic, the most rarest bit miner, you will be able to have a chance to earn USDT, the Solana version of that. That will be coming very soon. They also have the first-person shooter Clan Wars game that's going to be ready and live for everybody. We'll be participating in that. And then Fluid Tokens, we talked a little bit about them on the show today. They are innovators that came from the Cardano ecosystem to build on Bitcoin. They have added staking to Bitcoin Layer 1. TVL is officially added to Bitcoin Layer 1, guys. If you own or are a founder of a Ordinal collection or a Runes collection and you would like your community to be able to earn by staking those assets, reach out to Raul, the CTO of Fluid Tokens, or reach out to us. We'll get you connected. And they also offer rune swaps. They split this runes up for you. So check those guys out. And then finally, Merlin Chain, of course, you guys know that they are the #1 scaling solution for Bitcoin native L1 assets and protocols. If you're a builder on Bitcoin L1, you want to scale your protocol, make it more flexible, reach out to Merlin Chain. They have great builder grants. As long as you're a serious builder, they have great builder support. So check those guys out. And we thank you so much for checking out our partners.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you guys want mine, check out ordinalrevolution.com. We have some of the best articles dating all the way back to last year. If you know someone just entering the space, send them our website. We really feel like it can really help them get caught up and get to where we are today. If you guys need a VPN for whatever reason, privacy is a right. You are allowed to have privacy. There's no reason to give these websites your IP address, which eventually can get them your address. So use a VPN, NordVPN. We have a 70% off coupon. If you're going to Bitcoin 2025, we do have tickets, guys. Don't wait till next year to buy them. They go up almost every Friday. So definitely check out Bitcoin 2025 Las Vegas. The tickets are here with a discount. And if you guys are looking for merch, we have some of the best merch in all of Ordinals. Check out our Shopify. It's all done through a third party. We do not see your address or anything like that. So you guys can buy over here at our Shopify at ordinalrevolution.com. And we appreciate you guys. We're live Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. And until tomorrow.
Peace.
Ordinal Revolution. Let's go.